Hey, what's up tonight? It is Friday night again, 8 o'clock. Yeah, so I have not heard from my co-host yet. Hopefully he does show up yet tonight. But anyways, yeah, I'm gonna get to introducing my guest. So a lot of you guys know him from Instagram. Actually, a couple other people told me about his stuff, and I checked it out. It's really cool, and I will bring him on now. Please help me welcome Timbo Toys to the stream tonight.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going, man?
Hey, it's going well. Honored to be
Perfect.
here.
Awesome. No, yeah, thanks for coming on. I saw your stuff on Instagram, and then I was checking out your eBay page, and yeah, had to have you on. And like a big fan of upcycling and custom world building. Obviously, that's what you're into too.
Yeah,
So yeah, just go ahead, plug whatever you need to plug. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing, and take it from here.
yeah. Well, my name's Tim, and thanks so much for letting me be a part of the show and be on here. And really inspired by your work and the things I've seen you put together. Is watching your latest tour video last night. Um,
Um,
and yeah, it's an amazing collection that you have there, and very inspiring. Some of the things that you've done and put together and built. So, hey, what can I say? I've been a Star Wars fan almost my entire life. I think when I was around 4 or 5 years old, my parents bought me my first Star Wars figures, even before I'd even seen the movie or knew there was a movie called Star Wars. And I
well,
love,
getting to that, there was a picture you sent me. I thought was a pretty cool picture. Not everybody
yeah,
gets to.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. So how old were you here?
I think I'm probably around 4 years old, and those were some of my first Star Wars figures. You can't. It's kind of hard to see because I took a picture of the picture, but Darth Vader is in that picture too as well.
Oh yeah.
Um, there's a biker scout, there's Darth Vader, and then there's a Tron figure in there too. I always thought those were kind of cool, and they're that same scale. And then a stormtrooper that's next to that. So, and I still have all of those figures today. So,
Well,
um,
and I love pictures like this too, because like I don't know, there's not obviously my parents got a lot of pictures of us, but they didn't get a lot of us like playing with our toys. So
yeah,
I think the only picture I have that's surviving is I think I'm laying on the floor on Christmas Day in the living room with this awesome red tracksuit on, playing with my Ninja Turtles, and it's like probably the only picture I've got because I like vintage Star Wars was a little before me. So I think all my first experience with Star Wars was like hand me downs from my cousins that were just like, oh, these are awesome. And then finally it got to the point where they were showing Star Wars on television, and I was like
yeah,
absolutely hooked from like the second I saw it.
yeah, yeah. I just always loved the action figures and playing with them. And I can remember going to a friend's, and he had the AT-AT and
Oh
some of
yeah, yeah.
the Empire Strikes Back stuff, and that just blew me away. Really wanted that, never got that. I did get a lot of other stuff, and so that really is what kind of started my love affair with sci-fi and Star Wars. I think when I first saw the movie, I was probably, I don't know, maybe 7 or 8 years old when I saw New Hope for the first time, and I
Cool.
was just captivated. And what really fascinated me with the movie was the cantina scene, and just that really creeped me out as a kid. All those different aliens and things like that are in the cantina, and
Well, I think too with movies like that, like I know, like obviously you're aware there's a hero and stuff, but I think when you're younger, I did too. I gravitated more towards the aliens and like kind of the world of it. Like
yeah,
it was cool to have that story, but I was kind of more interested in the world than the story going on within it. But that
yeah,
was just my take as a kid, right? And
yeah,
I get
yeah,
maybe the odd comic book, but it wasn't like 1 to 50. It'd be like issue 10 and then 15 and then like something else and then like like an annual or something like that. So
yeah,
yeah, it was just mind blowing for me as a kid to see Star Wars for the first time. But like I said, it was like on television, or I think my mom had like got absolutely sick of me picking out Star Wars or Empire Strikes Back at the corner store and we went to go rent movies like every single week. That's all I would want to rent.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
how did you get into, like, are you obviously I see a lot of comic books behind you there. So are you like did you start with comics, get into toys, or like, or are you just building stuff like?
No, I started with the toys, started with the action figures. I didn't get into comics till I was probably in middle school, somewhere right around there when I went to my first, comic book store and just thought, that was really cool. And, just a place that, I would love to, spend all day in. And I've been trying to really kind of focus, the comics that I read. I do, still read comics, and I try to focus to Star Wars. If I do read other comics, I'll use the app that I have on my iPad that lets me kind of borrow them from the library for free.
Yeah, no, that's I do have that app too, and I think someone got me the Marvel subscription a couple years ago. But
Okay,
for me,
nice.
yeah, for me, comics now are more like I'll kind of wait. I sold off a lot of my key issues, like, first appearance of Deadpool, Venom, blah 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 blah, like all the '90s stuff that was worth money, which there wasn't very much '90s comics that are actually worth anything.
Yeah,
But I tend to just kind of stick with like a Star Wars, Transformers, like just buying the trade paperbacks now. Like I just can't keep up going to the comic book store every single month. And the nearest comic book store to me that's any good is probably Heroes in London, and that's like a good solid 45 minutes away. Like I live in a small town. I'm out in the country and there's like absolutely nothing around me. It's like Walmart is like your only refuge, and that's not one at all. So
okay, yeah, yeah,
but
yeah,
I see you're kind of getting into the world building behind you there too.
yeah, yeah.
So
At
that's
the
pretty nice. I think I saw your pictures on that the group chat we've got that Dom started,
Yeah,
and it kind of gave me like the sort of like Boulder Hill sort of vibe from Mask.
yeah.
Yeah, I think
I
I threw that comment up there, which is awesome. I love, like, Mask is an awesome toy line. I was actually it's too bad the vehicles weren't a bit bigger. Then I kind of work them into my setup a little bit.
Yeah, they were kind of an odd size.
But
So
and then you had said too that you sent me this picture, and it was you had gotten into what the Star Wars model game, or like, do you have to paint these, or what's the deal with these?
yeah, yeah, it's a Star Wars Legion. It's a war game. It's kind of, like the Star Wars version of, Warhammer or 40K. And I'd say this is probably really what kind of led me down the path of, getting into the world building that, we all know and love. But with Star Wars Legion, yeah, these models, they'll all come on sprues. You got to, you know, clip them apart. Sometimes the models will just kind of be in pieces in a bag, and you got to glue them together, prime them and paint them. But I would say this is really kind of what, yeah, led me to getting into world building because as I was, learning how to play the game, playing the game with my kids, I was always coming up with, more of a story. In Legion, you kind of play, well, you could play on really any kind of area, but you could play a skirmish game on like a 3x3 or official game that's done on a 6x3. So it's a pretty big area. And I got really into making terrain pieces and almost, kind of creating my own world in Star
Oh,
Wars
okay.
Legion and
Yeah.
kind of trying to tell a story. I actually brought a piece here. This is something that I made. Kind of designed it to be like an old Imperial bunker. It's kind of
That's cool. I love it.
built, yeah, into and out of rocks here, and was kind of creating a story, with this, as I was doing it. And I think I got online on YouTube one day, and I looked up Star Wars world building just because I wanted to kind of learn some more things about what I was doing. And I think that actually led me to Skybottom's page. And
Oh yeah, yeah. I've
he
had
had,
him on a couple of times. Yeah,
yeah,
he's got I'm actually trying to get a package together for him right now. He's probably gonna lose patience with me eventually, but no, I'm just trying to get him a package together. So I've had him on a couple times, and yeah, he's that intergalactic trade route that he's doing. So that's like it's a really cool idea.
yeah,
And just and in general too, it's like the community. It's a lot different, I think, than other, like I've said it before on live streams and videos. It's a lot different than that like mainstream, like your GI Joe, Transformers, the guys that are putting them up like a museum kind of
yeah,
display, and that's fine. However you want to collect is like fine with me. But no, I think yeah, when you get into the world building, guys, it's a bit of a separation, and so far it's like been a great community. I haven't run into anything terrible.
Yeah, I was thinking about that, and I think some of the reason for that is, and we're all collectors. I mean, obviously, but when you're just a collector, you're kind of into what Hasbro puts out, and your happiness a lot of times depends on what Hasbro puts out and how it looks, what accessories it comes with, how it displays. Whereas world builders, I feel like we don't really care what Hasbro does or does not put out, because we're gonna world build, and we may take things that they put out that others don't like and customize it. So we kind of, our happiness is not based on Hasbro, so which is probably a good thing.
Well, no, and that too, and we're not like. I think it's because I've talked to him. I've talked to Skybottom about this too. Like, you'll have someone comment on your videos out of the blue. It's like, oh, yeah, have you even seen Star Wars? Those two people I would have never met. Like, this is like, what's going on here? Like, you don't know what you're doing, and it's like, yeah, you're kind of missing the point of what's going on here. And I find those comments hilarious, and I get it.
Yeah.
Like, you're a hardcore G.I. Joe guy, you want every single figure and he's got to be complete, and that's your jam, then that's cool. But I find those communities tend to be a little tougher on their members than like our community is.
Yeah.
So
but you got things have to be I mean, depending on your OCD, I mean, you want the package to be perfect. You don't want any creases, dings, tears, rips. Whereas we're openers. We're ripping that stuff open and playing with it.
Yeah, like Bjorn says in the comments here, he's like, he finds it, obviously we all do, it's more fun than that museum display, but and that's just the way she goes. But and you are making customs, and you've got like an eBay store too, right? So I've got something here.
Yep.
So this is kind of like your ad, and I love this because you've got like, you can see it and it looks awesome. It looks like Star Wars or sci-fi, but being a world builder myself, and I'm sure other people can, we can pick out little like elements that say that tubing around the door. And I think I had commented when you posted on Instagram that was an awesome idea.
The starter kit, the world building starter kit.
Yeah.
And that idea actually comes, from kind of the wargaming community. If you want to get into wargaming, sometimes they offer like a starter kit, and it gives you a couple of things, some accessories, so that you can kind of jump right in and get going with it. And so I thought about the idea of hey, why not help somebody get into world building with a starter kit that would have a couple of buildings and come with some surprise accessories and action figures.
That's a really cool idea.
Yeah.
And but anyways, better late than never. My co-host has arrived for the night. He was having some issues with his Wi-Fi. So everybody help me welcome Pirates of the Galaxy to the chat. How's it going?
Hey, everybody.
You made it.
Hey.
Sorry I'm late. Yeah, like you said, I was having some Wi-Fi difficulties, had to reboot the system, but we're back up and running now, so I'm good to go. Awesome. Timbo, how's it going, man?
Hey, it's going good. Nice to see you.
Excellent. I was watching was watching you guys on my phone, but I got everything up and running now, so we're good to go.
So, Ed, just before we get into anything, we've got a question here. So you're doing, where's that question? There it is. So everything you're doing is 3.75 or 1/18th, I'm assuming?
Yeah. Yep. I have toyed with the idea of, something for Black Series. I do like Black Series. I thought about kind of getting more into that, but the tough thing with Black Series is the price range. It just seems to be going up and up and up, and they don't offer quite the selection of those background characters and aliens that we love as world builders.
Well, and it's funny you mentioned the 1/18th world building, because I world build with Marvel Legends, and I also world build with Masters of the Universe too, right?
I saw that. Yeah.
And oh my god, the Marvel Legends setup, it just, those figures take up so much space, and I've actually kind of slowly shuffling things around the room. So now I've expanded Marvel Legends because I had so many that like it just didn't look right. Like heroes don't fight like all that close together. Like you had like maybe an inch between fights going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's like in 1/18th, like obviously you can spread that stuff out to the moon.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it's a good scale, and it's got a lot of if you go back to the late 90s and the 2000s, there's a lot of those 1/18th scale figures and different Star Wars lines that obscure things, droids, aliens, people that were on screen for maybe a second.
Yep.
And that second was in the editor's cut or whatever, a director's cut. So
right.
Well, and remember when Lucas redid all the Star Wars movies?
Yeah.
How many more figures came out of that? Like all of a sudden you had droid lifting pipes in the intro with the speeder like
which I
like
have that figure.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I've so many. I've got a bunch of them because I like customizing him. He's a robot, right? So,
yeah.
But it was just
or even the R5 going by when Ben was talking to the stormtroopers.
Mm-hmm.
There's all kinds of little gimmicks here and there. But even growing up, though, most of the stuff that we watched, like the cartoons and that, those were also geared toward 3.75-inch figures. Like shows like actually Rad Toys in your video tour that you did just the other day, you showed us Captain Power in the background there. Those are the things we grew up with as well, right? Captain Power, like you said, Timbo Droids was another cartoon where they were geared towards 3.75-inch figures. So basically, it's the standard size we grew up with, and it's the easiest size to world build with because that's what we were growing up watching was world building in all these different shows, right? So it is amazing to see your work, Timbo, with actually, I love your buildings. Like they're actually really amazing, especially that last one that you posted recently. I just love the detail with your dry brushing. They added little details with like the computer monitors and things like that you've added to the building itself. It's definitely something I want to jump into and pick up for myself.
And I love this one
Thank
too.
you.
Like I was looking at some of the other pictures, and you're obvious it's woodworking, right? That's a hole saw for the window.
Yeah.
But I love how you've got like that kind of cloth draped on there. And is that any particular language on the side, or is that just like random?
I just made it up.
Nice.
I feel like with sci-fi stuff, you can make up a lot of stuff and it fits really well.
Oh yeah, I've definitely done that before, and they do that in Star Wars too. They'll have some real like galactic basic, and then they throw in some gibberish to kind of fill out the thing. But
the cloth idea in there actually was something that I did. I don't know if you could see this, but this is one of my Star Wars Legion pieces. This is something I bought it.
Nice.
It was gray when I bought it, and I painted it up. But as you can see, I put a cloth. Learning the idea of taking like a piece of T-shirt or just some kind of cloth, getting it wet, coloring it, putting a bunch of Mod Podge on it, and then just kind of laying it over that. And so I thought, hey, I want to try that, with this kind of canopy that I have on the building here.
It came out really good.
I like Bjorn's comment here, watching, and this is what I thought too. Every new series I've watched, I've been looking for background characters. And but I don't know. I still think they're gonna make like a whole bunch of like after season 3. I bet you there's gonna be like all those Mandalorians and like because they can take any of the molds that they've got right now and just repaint them.
Yeah.
Like that's like totally a Hasbro thing to do. So I think like honestly like we're gonna get like every color of the rainbow, but I don't know. I've already been doing that. Like one of my main jams is Mandalorians. I've got they've got their own space. So
yeah, I saw that. That's awesome.
I've probably cut the heads off of like more power than anybody on the planet Earth. And then I'm gonna send the bodies. I'm gonna send the bodies to
Mandalorian setup you have.
Oh yeah. But
the chains hanging, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that like just finding stuff and you're like, oh yeah.
And Pirates, I really like your custom figures and the stories that you write for them.
Thanks. That's how I'm starting my world building is through the characters. I think I even put that in my as part of my bio. in that building my world based on characters, vehicles, and locations. But eventually, as you can see behind me now, the shelf that used to be there is gone because I'm actually making space to start building the station. So Edge Point Station, as of this week, will be starting to get built. So pictures are going to start showing up as I'm starting to work on buildings and things. Right now, I'm kind of torn between so many different aspects of my projects that it's taking time to build the station. But I'll be getting there by next week. You'll start seeing some pictures and some buildings and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
it's coming.
Nice. Yep. I'll look
Yeah, I
forward
thought
to seeing
that. I thought that cowboy character you had with the whole Brave Star vibe there. I was like, yeah, that's awesome.
Actually,
I love
speaking of which, before we jump into anything else, it was something that I mentioned the last time we had the live stream, Rad. I wanted a name for that character, the one that you just mentioned. And Starboy Station was the one who actually was the winner to the contest that I put out there that day. I said that if someone could come up with a name that I liked, I would actually build them a male counterpart version of that character, and I would send that off to them as a prize. So Starboy Station came up with the awesome name of Quellish May. I just added some hyphens there to make it look a little bit more alien. So right now, that's one of the projects that I'm working on is that custom figure to send out to him. So I just wanted to put that out there on the air to let everyone know that the name that you hear for that character, which is Quellish May, so Marshall Quellish May, that was Starboy's creation, and he was the winner to that contest. I'll be sending him out that custom figure. So it's basically the male version of that figure.
Nice.
Awesome. Well, it seems like he's excited in the comments, so he's got a figure on the way.
So yeah, I didn't forget Starboy. I just wanted to make sure I mentioned that tonight because I had a feeling you'd be watching.
Cool. And okay, well, I'll move on to the next picture here. So I like your I like the color of your palettes that you're picking too. Like that's cool. Like, and
anything blue is good.
Are these meant to be like modular, or obviously you can put them in a row if you want, but do you go to that like Empire Toy Works kind of does that thing where sometimes he has the things where you can stack them like differently and it's a different building?
Yeah. Yeah, they won't. I wouldn't necessarily really stack on top of each other, but they do set nicely next to each other, and I do like kind of bringing in the colors and just having some different flavors.
And then I messed up the order. I meant to do this guy later, but I saw this droid, and is this guy 1/18th or is he's a 1/12th, right?
He is. Yeah, he's the Black Series HK droid. He's a really cool. I like the droids and stuff, and so I thought he was really cool. I'd like to have him in the 1/18th scale. But
I was about to say when I saw that, Timbo, I was like, man, how did you get that figure? I thought you made that as a custom 3.75-inch figure. I'm like, oh my goodness, that's awesome work. And then I started looking closer. I'm like, wait a minute, that never came out in 3. So I thought it maybe might have been a 3D print. But now that you mentioned it, it's obviously Black Series. Like you, I would definitely want to see that in TVC.
Yeah.
And I swear where did that droid head come from? I swear there was a character in the original Droids cartoon.
That's what I thought too,
It's like an evil droid and he looks just like him. I think that's like they're on like this cargo ship and there's like a bunch of like gladiator droids and crap on it too. I have no idea what the name of the episode is, but it's been like so long ago that I've seen droids. Well, I've watched them like recently on Disney Plus, but I'll put things on when like I'm tired, I want to go to sleep, and then I'll wake up and go to bed kind of thing. So it's usually droids or like Ewoks or something that I've seen 1,000 times as a child that I know is going to knock me right out.
Yeah. It is kind of interesting in those Ewok shows and movies. There are things that you see Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau using in The Mandalorian. Like there's a creature that looks a lot like a blurg in there.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And the Blurgs. The Blurgs are in the one Ewok movie.
Yeah.
With I don't know if they're Dulocs in the movie too, but yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. They are in that.
Yeah. It's not like a great movie. It's like they got like it looks like a family of like 80s hair metal. And they got the little things on their wrists, and if the light dead or something like that, I can't.
The little girl has the bandana.
Yeah. And then wasn't there a girl that put like a ring on and she like turned into a a bat or a bird or something like
Yes, that was the. I think that was the main evil villain in that episode or that movie rather. I think she wore like a ring and it gave her like some powers or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to like go and suffer through those and try and like get my bearings on them again. It's been like ages since I've seen those either.
I
But
don't
I'll
know if
bring
I
up
could sit through that.
oh dude, I don't know. But the next one here, I thought this was wicked too. It's like obviously some kind of garage. And when you're doing these, are you including like the little crates? Like obviously not the figures, but are these sets coming with little crates and like other items?
I do include surprise accessories in every purchase. Um,
Nice.
yeah, it may be crates, barrels, you know, a droid that I maybe printed and painted up. So you just never know. I think it's kind of exciting when you get something and you get extra things. So
Yeah.
yeah, like to do
Oh,
that.
It makes the consumer feel that much more special. It's like, hey, I helped you out and you're like sending me back these awesome little treats.
Yeah,
It makes them want to come back for more. Like I'm looking at this building and I'm like, with the character I was just painting today, I was working on one of my mechanic characters. Backstory coming soon, but she would need that garage. That would be
mm,
perfect for her for my character. I'm gonna
mm.
have to talk to you after we're done here today
Okay. Yeah,
because I
well,
might need something just like that.
yeah, and this idea and design actually came from my son. So this was something that he kind of saw that kind of envisioned as something that didn't really cross my mind, and I was like, oh, okay. I
That's
think we could
awesome.
make something out of that. So yeah,
So are you building entirely from like scratch from like lumber, or do you ever use like say like a speaker box or
I'll do both.
anything? Yeah,
Yeah, I'll do
that's
both.
cool.
I have a couple friends that I feel like I'm supporting them by kind of saying, hey, could you build me a building with this dimensions and out of wood, and I'm supporting them and they're helping me out by building me something. Sometimes too, I will just see a box or something like that in a store and kind of have some inspiration of, hey, I could probably turn this into something.
Right. Now,
Like
speaking of inspiration, I don't know if this is something Rad had asked you. Is like, what actually inspires you to build some of these things? Like, where do you get your ideas from? Is it mainly from Star Wars, or?
Yeah, I think so. Star Wars, just yeah, I love it, man. I've always loved it, and um, the desert planets. Some of like the houses, that kind of inspires me, and I feel like with Star Wars and science fiction, I feel like there's not a lot of restraints as far as what you can
Right.
create and make because sometimes I don't necessarily plan my buildings out. I
Hmm.
will kind of start making them and just kind of, hey, whatever kind of comes to me in those moments, I'll try to do it. Sometimes I'll get an idea and I'll cut something and I'll say, hey, this is going to look great, and I'll try to put it where I wanted to put it, and it doesn't fit, it doesn't look right, and then I discover, hey, I
Right.
turn it upside down and I put it over here and it looks perfect.
Happy accidents.
Happy accident. So yeah, I do struggle like with building. I have built a couple of dioramas that were they were for The Walking Dead or Marvel Legends, and so I was trying
Hmm.
to make a sidewalk and like a factory building and like a brick building, and I mean I did do that and was able to do that, but it's just a struggle for me, doing something that you know you kind of know what it's supposed to look like and trying to kind of match that and what it's supposed to look like as
Right.
opposed to sci-fi. There's hey, you could do weird, you could do wild, and whatever you do is kind of the plan. So
Yeah.
that's what
Exactly.
I like building in sci-fi. Like, and that's I've always wanted to be. I always thought it'd be really cool to be able to be either a comic artist or a comic writer.
Hmm.
But the only problem is I'm not a good artist as far as drawing and painting, and I am horrible with grammar. So
Well,
so
if you read my backstories, you can see I'm not the best at it either. So just
you
put it
do a
out
good
there,
job.
man.
You
no,
do a good
it
job.
is it is cool. Yeah, I love Pirates. How you're doing like that kind of like little like blurb in the backstory behind the character. Like it just helps fill it out, draws people in. And
Well,
yeah,
that's I just felt that was the way to go for me, anyways. Only because the fact, like, unlike you guys, I didn't really have the space at the time. I didn't really know whether or not I was planning on selling my house or staying here. Now that I decided, okay, I'm staying here, I can actually go ahead and start building that. So the way I started doing that is just by sprinkling it in a little bit with each of the characters that you're eventually going to see around there. So I'm hoping that once you see the photos of these characters within the station, people will have that connection to them because, hey, I know who that guy is. He did this and he did that, and it makes you want to know, oh, what are they gonna do next? So that's kind of my hope, was to like create the backstory so you can create that relationship with them, so that when you do see them in the station, you can relate to them that much more.
Yeah, yeah, that's really
absolutely.
cool.
And then
Thank
this,
you. Oh,
I
nice.
like this one when I saw it too. It's a little blurry. I had to blow it up a little bit, but stuff
Yeah,
like this would be really cool. Like, you get a bunch of these and just line them up, and it would look like, just like a Tatooine street or something.
yeah,
And
that's the first wood place that I made.
Good
okay,
job.
no,
So
that's awesome. Yeah, we all start somewhere. It's like I said, I was talking in my video. You hear a lot of guys, they kind of like once in a while you'll hear them get down on themselves because they're trying to catch up to everybody that's been doing it for years or whatever. They're frustrated they can't get the dry brushing down. But like, would obviously, I don't know. I think, do you guys agree that it's like you got to kind of, obviously you have to put the time in, but I think for me, I'm not just to watch a guy do it and then do it myself. I like, it's a lot of trial and error when you're
Mhm.
trying to get to that point where, are you ever happy with your work? Like, as creators, I know you're your own worst critic, right? So
yeah, yeah.
Well,
I
we're the
was
only ones that notice the mistakes, right? Most people, when you put something out there, won't notice the mistakes, but we will notice every little. Oh, I missed a paint spot there. I missed a little spackle there. So yeah, we notice them, but like you said, you got to take that step and just put it out there, and
yeah,
just take the first step, or else you'll never do it.
yeah, yeah.
yeah, absolutely. And I've made stuff too that I'm just like, oh, whatever, I'm gonna like do this and it's gonna hang from the ceiling, and then somebody will do a video. Like Dom was covering my collection once, and then everyone gravitated towards this TIE fighter that I had put arms on and painted like a construction vehicle. And for
I
me, it was
love that thing.
yeah, yeah. And for me, it was just a custom that like I just had these yellow stickers from like an old like toy truck, and I just threw this together, and it's
It's
like,
funny that you mentioned that one because that's the one I took a screenshot of my computer screen so that I can make my own version of that. When I saw, because I believe Empire Toy Works. After I saw yours, I saw that Empire Toy Works also did something similar. I'm like,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay, now I have to do it. So
Well, and he
I'm
does
working
that
on
too.
mine.
Empire Toy Works will take like the Millennium Falcon or any
Yeah,
vehicle like that. It was like crying a little bit when I saw that he painted the sail barge. I was like, oh. But
but
yeah,
that's
no,
that's the
seriously.
beauty of this world that we're in, that we can do whatever we like with our stuff, because that helps build our world and makes our toy now unique. It's
yeah,
not like everybody else who has that same factory built barge. He has something that no one else has, and he did such an amazing job on that barge. It's like I felt the same way too when I first saw. I'm like, what was he thinking? But then the more I look at it, I was like, oh man, that looks awesome. Look at the light work that he did on it. He added his own parasols on it, gave it its own unique feel to it, and it actually fits into his world. And that's why he did it. And it's perfect. Now I couldn't see it any other way.
Well,
yeah,
no, and getting to that point where like it's got like a look to it. That's what I find about your stuff too. It's like I could tell
Yeah.
if I saw a video on YouTube and I saw this in their setup, I would instantly know that it was yours.
mm,
Yep.
It's got like, you definitely have like a flow and a style that is your
yeah.
own.
This
Agreed.
the white actually came to me when I was looking through. I don't know if I'm going to say his last name correctly or not, but I think it's Ralph McQuarrie that did the Star
Oh
Wars
yeah.
art.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, he has there's a page in there where he has a short kind of description, and he talks about this Jawa fortress that's up in the mountains. And
Right.
the picture of it, the buildings are all white, and I just thought, oh, that's kind of a cool, cool idea there of this white,
Hmm.
contrasting with the desert, and so that was kind of some of the inspiration. behind these. And I will also say too that everything I build, it's really hard for me to sell it. I'd like to keep it.
Yeah. Yeah, I've had that problem because I made some custom figures that I ended up selling, and I had such a hard time letting go of them.
Yeah,
It got to the point where I started duplicating them just so that, okay, if I give this one away, I can still keep one that's similar, so I don't feel
yeah,
so bad. Just like
Yeah,
that cowboy, I didn't want to give her away, so I said I'll make a male counterpart version and I'll give that away.
and it's funny you mentioned that too because Dom, I sent a package to him and he had mentioned this like custom speeder that I had my setup like 2 or 3 times that he thought it was like that was his favorite. And I took it out of my setup and I put it in the box of stuff for him. Then I took it out and then I put it back in and then I took it out and then I put it back in and I was like, I'm taping this box up because I'm going to take it out again. And it did actually make it to him, but then I was like, okay, it's gone. I'm happy he's got it.
yeah,
And that makes you feel good too when you know that person's got it and now you're helping that person feel good, you know?
yeah.
So
Especially if they're happy with it and they are enjoying it. And yeah,
exactly.
I do want to give credit to my brother-in-law Eric. He's the one that really helped me with photography and how to take good pictures.
Nice.
And yeah, and use an iPhone. Just some really
And I like the flavor that you had mentioned too, that how you want to do that comic book aesthetic. And I liked how you started doing that with some of your pictures where you're giving it that comic book feel. I was like, oh, I can't wait to see what the next episode's going to be with your pictures because of the fact that it does have that comic book feel. And now it kind of gives you your own
yeah,
aesthetic. So this is the Timbo Toys aesthetic now, is this comic book style. And I actually really like the coloring with the pictures. And like you said, because you got that help with those pictures, you've created your own identity now, not only through the style of your creations, but also now through your photography.
yeah. That was kind of a wild one right there. Trying purple. I do like the color purple, but
Mhm.
Well, and that's what I like about your buildings. Like, it's not like all the same thing. Like this, all
Yeah.
these colors look really cool, kind of stacked into a city, and it would be just like, you know, just a crazy looking town. But I gotta ask you, what is that green action figure? I saw it in the picture. Is it like Captain Scarlet or something?
that's the cloud car pilot that came with the concept cloud car.
Oh,
Yeah,
of course it is. Yeah,
yeah.
I can't believe I couldn't pick that. Like, I've got that book.
Wow.
The start. Do you guys? I don't know if anybody else has it, but the Sand Suite book where it's got every Star Wars figure from like the original all the way up. I think it goes to what 2012 or something right now. I'm
Oh
sure he's going
wow.
to do another edition. That's a pretty good. You can actually get it pretty reasonable on Amazon. I think I got the soft cover for $30.
Oh
Yeah.
really?
I want to
That's not
say.
bad.
So it wasn't
Does that
bad.
have a gray cover?
No, mine's got just like a big collage. But the
Okay.
thing with mine, I had to get it fixed when I got it because Amazon dropped it off in the freaking rain.
Mm.
And the
Oh,
box and everything was
idiots.
soaked, and I was like, no. And they wouldn't take it back because they actually delivered it. They like take a picture and everything. And
Uh,
it's like, oh my God. But anyways, enough of my personal problems. I really love this one too, this facade.
oh yeah, that's Black Series. I made that for my middle daughter. She has Ahsoka, and I gave her a 501st to kind of go with it, and she's got that on her shelf in her room. So,
That was
but
killer.
That's
Do you
cool.
do you ever do any modular stuff? Like, would you build like do you have stuff that's like this and then it turns like you know what I mean by modular? I'm sure.
yeah, yeah. No, I haven't done anything quite well. I take that back. I do have my cantina, which I think you might have in the background there.
Oh yeah, I do for sure. I do.
Yeah, there's a
I've
building
actually
on
got
top.
the picture here.
I'll
I'll
grab it here,
find.
but there's a building on top of that, and it's modular, so you can move it around. You could actually pop the door off if you wanted to, but that's
Nice.
or you could put it next to it, whatever. So, but this is all made out of foam.
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
And it definitely like I think when you do Tatooine buildings, you just have to have that ball on the roof.
Yep.
Yeah.
Other than I can't think of any, and it's funny too. I always laughed at Star Wars because every planet is a singular biome, like
Yeah.
all desert, all jungle, all this,
Yeah,
all that.
exactly. All water.
I don't know. I'm not a scientist, but I don't think a world could exist that way.
Yeah. I don't think
Well,
that's
there can be some worlds, but the thing is, not every single planet is gonna be like that. Like, there's got to be a northern pole and a southern pole.
Yeah.
There's got to be something there. It's like, can't just be all desert. It's like,
Yeah.
come on.
You got Mustafar, it's just all lava.
Yeah, it's like, come on.
Who even decides to live there? I guess Darth Vader does, but like
But I guess that's what makes it Star Wars, right? It makes it seem alien, very foreign. So there's nothing we can relate to.
Yeah.
I guess that's why they do that.
It's not like Star Trek when they go down to the planet and there's like either sexy aliens or they've gone back in time, like times or something crazy. What a show, man.
They're just like gangsters.
Yeah, and it's like it just happens that this other planet, like far reaches of the solar system, evolved the exact same way, but they're still gangsters and you're not. Like
Shooting Tommy guns.
yeah, I don't know. I guess it's an easy stories to write, right? Where it's like Star Wars to me, like I like elements of Star Trek, but like Star Wars to me is like, number one, it's gritty, it's got a good story, it's like, there's consequences to people's actions in that universe. Whereas like Star Trek now it's much better obviously than it was in the 60s, but I mean someone gets like zapped and for the most part they're just kind of waving this little thing around them and you're like, okay,
that's it.
But anyways, getting back into our actual topic for the evening, I like this to me is like something that like these guys obviously are army guys, but something you would throw up on the field as like a outpost tent kind of thing, something.
Yeah, kind of like a garage type of thing. I had another garage I just made this week that I posted yesterday. But yeah, kind of a place where you can kind of tuck a vehicle in or put crates in, your stuff.
Nice. It's almost like those little mobile shelters, like Rad was saying, like military groups, they put those up when they're on their new posts.
Yeah.
Oh, my phone just went out.
Oh.
Did I lose my camera?
Looks like you're launching into space.
Yeah, you just turned sideways. You just went all sideways on us, but we can still
very
hear you.
weird. Very weird. Turn it around. See if that does it.
and then to me, that's okay. We'll carry on here. Hopefully, you can correct it, or maybe like log in and log out, log back in. And there you are.
There we go. Yeah, like for some reason my phone shut off.
Oh,
Anyways,
okay.
I'm back.
Anyways, but to me, okay, I mention this in videos all the time. I love the color green, and this building is sick. I love this thing.
Yeah,
like it looks like an old nice. It's almost like a cross between like a statue with the patina and whatever on it, and like it reminds me of like an ancient building. It's like it looks so cool.
Yeah, that one came out just some of these colors, trying them for the first time. I had no clue what the end result would be, but I was very happy with how it came out. So yeah, I like green too. Green's my favorite color.
Go team green. But and this too, I was trying to figure out what this is. Am I okay? I'm gonna guess. Is this like an electrical conduit box? Here, I'll full screen you.
Here's one. Yep, you're right. Just
I knew it.
Good eye.
Yep, just and this is another idea from Wargaming that I got from somebody else that had taken these electrical boxes and just kind of decked them out and all kinds of stuff, made them look very sci-fi, and used them as kind of line of sight blocking terrain. And I thought, you know what, I could possibly you could use those in our world building as kind of a maybe it's a power generator type of thing.
I was thinking almost like if you cut out one side of it, it could almost be like a hunter's cage to trap animals.
Or like one of those, like those taco trucks. Just cut a hole in there. It's like a little food stand, or like those newspaper stands.
Yeah,
It could be one of those.
And then, well, yeah, if you're going camping, you can bring your little robot microwave there in the front.
Yeah, why not, man?
It reminds me of a microwave. He's like, full you're like, give me a pizza pocket, bro. I'm starving.
I was gonna ask you if you like making custom figures as well, because obviously your buildings are top notch.
Yeah.
I'm noticing your custom figures as well.
Well,
Do you
here,
really enjoy doing those as well?
I'll pull
Well,
this up.
I'm
I'll
very
pull this.
limited in what I can do with that. Sorry. Um,
I'm a big kit bash person. I'm not one of those people who I'm just now starting to dive into like sculpting and things like that. But I mainly like pulling figures apart because I
yeah.
can usually see one figure. I'm like, oh, that would look cool if I added this arm and that arm. So I'm good at putting things like that together. I'm only now getting okay at painting,
Mm.
and I'm just now diving into sculpting. But yeah, that robot right there. That looks awesome.
Yeah, those were some 3D prints I was able to print up. Took it from somebody else and painted it, or printed it up and painted it. I would love to learn more about customs and custom figures. Really, the only thing I've done is just to paint figures that are already there, and I've not really pulled any arms or legs off. But yeah,
Once you get to that point, oh my goodness, the sky's the limit. Once you start pulling legs off and start combining them that way, or even if a leg breaks, like as you're trying to customize something and it breaks, like, oh, okay, I'll just go with it. This guy lost his leg in a battle, so
yeah,
Or give him a
that's
peg leg.
that's the part of the whole customizing, right? You just go with it.
Oh, we got Fatbacks showing up for the party a little bit late. Hey, man, thanks for coming out tonight.
hello.
What's up?
All right. Did you make? Sorry, getting back to this. Did you make that dome droid thing? That's cool.
I was about to ask. I love that drone.
Yeah, it was a 3D print. I didn't make it. It was a 3D print that you kind of did the different pieces. And then I painted it up.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, that's like, and I've been getting into that too. I finally got my own 3D printer, but I haven't dove into it too much. And I was gonna say
Oh
when
wow.
you're doing the Legion stuff too, I'm like get all excited looking for like the STL files, and then all of a sudden you read it's like Legion scale, and you're like, oh.
Yeah.
And it's something
But
like super awesome.
I hear it's pretty easy to scale them up, though, isn't it? I don't know. I
is.
don't have a 3D printer, so I don't know.
I don't know. My buddy's an engineer, and he's got a 3D printer, and he printed my Razor Crest for me, and he's actually painting me a replica of the White Witch right now too.
Oh,
Yeah, man.
I was gonna make one of those, the White Witch, out of a soap bottle. Actually,
That would work.
it kind of has that shape. Just needs some paint and a little bit of love, and I think I could make. I'll actually be making quite a few of those speeders using the soap bottles.
And then when you
They
win the
have
lottery,
unique shapes.
when you win the lottery, you can actually get the figures that go with it too.
Yeah, why not? Because they're a fortune right now.
I think I saw that the red-haired, that was it, Thal Jobin or something like that. That's his
I
name.
think that's his name.
I've seen him go loose for like maybe $80 in rough condition, but
Ouch.
I can't justify $80 for a 5 POA figure. Like, are you
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
people already want way too much for Power of the Force figures as it is.
Yeah.
Yep.
But,
I know, they're not worth it.
no, they're not at all. They're not. I would rather get like a cheaper brand with like more articulation and make it into a custom than like.
I'd rather buy 2 Joy Toy figures and turn those into like custom Star Wars figures before I buy a Power of the Force 5 POA ugly fat chested characters. Like, nah, I don't think so.
My local comic book store has Phantom Menace figures, and they're like literally $1.99 a piece.
Oh wow.
And
that's now I can do that. I would definitely do that.
That's still a little overpriced for Phantom Menace stuff, though. I think. I don't know.
Some of those figures come with some cool accessories, though.
Half the time it's the accessories. It's not really the characters. It's the accessory or the head or the helmet that they have. It's like, oh yeah, I definitely want that helmet.
Yeah.
I remember I spent like $5 on those Star Wars Resistance figures. I hated the figure, but I'm like, oh, this guy's helmet is so cool. It's worth the $5 for that.
Yeah, I've done that before too. Like I've bought those cheap Captain Americas at the dollar store because the shield's awesome. And I always need one for like a Marvel Legends Captain America or something. They're actually like a little bit bigger and they scale a little bit better than the ones. But yeah, sometimes you can find like great stuff at the dollar store. Like right now, I think the Princess Bride figures are showing up there, the McFarlane
What?
ones. Yeah,
Okay,
man.
I gotta go there. I definitely gotta go
I don't
check
know.
it
I've heard
out.
of the odd McFarlane like Spawn figure showing up there lately too. But this is Canada, right? Well, your Pirates is in Canada too, so
Yeah.
we got the toys 18 years later, and we got Marvel Legends
Yeah.
$8 today. Like, oh my god, I couldn't believe my pre-orders show up that early. Like, and nobody in the U.S. has them, nobody in Europe has them, and then all of a sudden, like, GameStop in a tiny town in Ontario has the Chode Build-A-Figure wave like 6 weeks before anybody else. Like, mind blown.
I can
But
live with that.
but usually towards the end of the show, I like to do like if anybody's got a pickup or something or news.
Yeah.
Timbo, if you want to go first, man.
Yeah. Just today at the comic toy store, was able to find a couple older figures that really are perfect for world building. And they were very cheap too. So if you could see this, it's a R4
It's
G9,
Goldie.
I think.
Is that the gold one?
Yeah, the gold
Oh,
one.
That's
cool.
the one on the Clone Wars. They call it Ahsoka
Goldie
Tano
or
called it
something.
Goldie.
Yeah, Goldie.
That's not the
So-
one that ends up being the trainer, is it? I can't remember.
I think it is.
Yeah,
Goldie was
I-
the one that was a trainer. I don't know if
Yeah.
that figure is the one, but I definitely remember Goldie was the one that betrayed them. And R2
Yeah, I think
kicked his
they
butt.
said that this one went with Obi-Wan to one of the planets to kind of investigate something in Revenge of the Sith.
okay.
Oh, okay,
So-
yeah. That's a different one.
Yeah, that one was
Awesome,
cool. I
though.
thought this one was really cool.
Oh, I like that one.
Bjorn had it right. Bjorn knew the whole time it was Obi-Wan, so.
Yeah.
Bjorn knows everything.
This was kind of cool. It's got the mouse droid, which I think is just kind of a cool thing to have.
Yep.
If you can see
yeah.
it. Yeah, and it's got the interrogator droid and some guns, a helmet, and I think it's.
I wanted that. I've been wanting that for a long time and could never find it.
Oh, really?
$5.
You'll have to remind me, Pirates, the comic book store I go to. I
Right.
think that set, he's got like a stack of sets like that.
What? Yeah, those are hard to find in the city. In Toronto, you can't find those things because there's so many scalpers here that they go and grab all those things and then they overprice everything. So
Yeah,
it's hard to find those.
It's Heroes in London, Ontario. If you ever get to make your way down that way, it's a
I'll have to
shop.
take a trip.
And then he's got like a loose bin of Star Wars guys, and I think you buy it's like 5 for $11 or something.
Oh wow.
Crazy like that. But most of it's Power of the Force. You can get loose Marvel Legends. Like, no, it's an awesome store, man. If you could, like, you're in Canada, so you can probably eventually make your way down to that.
A little bit of a trek, but hey, why not? I'll find my way down there sometime.
No doubt, no doubt. So, do you have any pickups this week,
Yeah.
Pirates?
No, unfortunately, I didn't have anything set up to show you guys. Like I said, I was working on a new custom, not really a new custom. I was actually tweaking one that I already had. I'll be taking pictures of that either later tonight or by tomorrow. So you should look out for those posts with a new backstory for that character mechanic. So it's
Awesome.
what's Kit Fisto's background? I forget what he's
I know he can breathe
Arturo?
underwater.
I forget what his species is called, but basically the character that I have I have a brother and sister. They're not really a team, but I have two different characters that I will be actually posting pictures of them. I actually posted some pictures of them before. One was a work in progress picture. Now she's almost done. So she's a mechanic. So I'll be showing that up tomorrow with her backstory. So I was working on that earlier today.
Very cool.
Awesome. So I went to EB Games after work today and had an impulse buy, and I said
That never happens.
I'm pretty much done with this line after like the space or whatever Starjammers wave or whatever. Like I feel after that I'm kind of done with it, but I couldn't pass this one up, so I grabbed that stupid the X-Men 5-pack Marvel Legends thing.
Uh-oh.
So yeah, no, that was
Oh,
a big
wow.
that went on my own personal bank card, not my wife's or joint account. So that was my impulse buy. But all these waves have been coming in. Like I've got like that Starjammers wave starting to come in, and then I got these. These are at the dollar store right now for like dirt cheap. I don't know if you see that. These Gundam suits. And
Yeah, I like those because those would make some great like mech suits.
I can't remember who did it. It might be We Talk
Yeah.
TV or somebody, or maybe it was Famine to Studios.
No, it was Dom. Dom did those. He takes the head off and he puts like a G.I. Joe head on there. Yeah, it's Dom who did that because he has those as mech suits.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, or whatever, like power armor or whatever. Like
yeah, power armor. Yeah. Power armor.
Yeah. So I've like found a whole bunch of those, but the dollar store has been like just a treasure trove, like around here lately. Anyway,
I'll have to go check mine then. I'm gonna go there tomorrow to get my impulse buy on.
Yeah. You'll come home with an armful of Princess Bride figures.
Well, I don't have a wife or anything, so it doesn't matter. I can come home with whatever I want.
You can do whatever you want.
I can do whatever I want, man.
Put toys in the kitchen if you want to, man.
Exactly. Toy in my bathroom, in my bedroom. I can put them anywhere I want. There's toys everywhere. Don't have to worry about any of that.
A space station in every room.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Make the whole house a space station, man.
Hey, sky's the limit, man. You have no restrictions.
Exactly. I won't have any visitors, but hey.
But anyways, yeah, we're getting on the hour. I want to thank Timbo Toys for coming out. Check out
awesome stuff.
Page. I was looking at the eBay page. The stuff is very reasonably priced for like custom items. So go check out it. It's just Timbo Toys on eBay. It's real easy. You can find him on Instagram. Yes. And of course, Pirates of the Galaxy. You can find him on Instagram. He's getting into the world building on YouTube now. So soon. Well, you've got space for it now.
Exactly.
Nobody else holding you back for different.
Exactly.
I know we're having a party. We're going to Pirate's place to have a party.
Why not, man? You guys are all invited. I got the space. You guys can even crash.
Are your parents home?
Nope, nobody's home. It's just me.
We need a world builders convention.
We should, man. We should totally do that.
Right on.
We have make a video while we're here. We all build our own thing, switch it up, and we all take a piece home.
Have a build off. Just throw like a big pile of junk in the middle of the room.
Why not, man?
Build like the coolest thing out of the big pile of junk.
Well, that's gonna be one of my themes when I do get onto YouTube is raiding. Part of being a pirate is raids, right? So I'll be raiding recycling bins, stuff, raiding dumpsters and that sort of thing. So we should definitely do that.
For the record, you're probably the nicest pirate I've ever known. You're the only pirate I've ever known, honestly. I don't know about any other ones, but if they're half as nice as you, we'll get along just great.
Yeah. Anyways, you're swell.
Yeah. Thanks everybody for coming out tonight. Like I said, follow everybody on the stream tonight. And
thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for the invite. Nice to meet you guys.
Yeah.
Likewise, man.
Big shout out to my wife and kids too for putting up with me and supporting me.
But yeah, just for the future, I've got Timbo Toys. He's on a panel show that I've got coming up about junk. So stay tuned for that one. That's in a few weeks. I usually I schedule 2-3 weeks out for streams just so everyone knows what's coming up. But I'm gonna quit yapping and stuff here and let everybody get on with their night. Thanks for coming out, everybody in the chat, and take it easy.
See you, pirates.